Welcome back to Awakened Reflections, the journey that leads not to perfection, but to emotional freedom. In life, we're constantly bombarded by the forces of attachment, whether to people, things, or fleeting moments. These attachments, while natural, often cloud our sense of self and joy. Today, we're going to explore how emotional detachment, rooted in Stoic philosophy, can guide us toward a deeper, more resilient happiness. But what does emotional detachment really mean? It's not about cutting ties with people or abandoning relationships. It's about learning to rely on your inner strength, discovering that true happiness comes from within, and becoming emotionally free from the dependency on external forces. In a world full of distractions and emotional turbulence, how can we remain grounded? By embracing the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. We'll dive deep into 10 transformative rules that will help you navigate life's challenges, reduce your emotional attachments, and build an inner fortress of peace. These rules will empower you to live fully, with authenticity, and in control of your emotional world. Let's embark on this path together. Rule number 1, understand the true source of happiness. We often look outward for happiness in our relationships, in success, or in possessions. We think that if we just had that one thing, whether it's the perfect partner, a dream job, or a shiny new car, we'd finally be happy. But here's the hard truth. Happiness doesn't come from external things. It comes from within. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having adequate health." This insight invites us to question where we're placing our focus for happiness. Think of someone who depends on a partner for happiness. They believe their life will feel empty without this person. But when that relationship ends, they're left feeling lost. On the other hand, someone who understands true happiness doesn't tie it to others, can handle the ups and downs of life. They know their joy is already inside them, not reliant on another person's presence. It's like a tree growing strong in the ground, even if the winds around it change. Your happiness, like that tree, can be rooted deeply within you, no matter what's happening around you. By turning inward and embracing self-worth, we can find a more lasting form of happiness that doesn't disappear when circumstances shift. This means focusing on your own growth, your passions, and your ability to create joy without depending on someone else. Rule number 2, practice emotional detachment. Emotional detachment doesn't mean cutting people off or becoming cold. It means learning not to be overwhelmed by your emotions or by other people's actions. The Stoics teach that while we can't control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. In other words, we don't let external events dictate our peace. Let's say you've had a disagreement with a close friend. In the past, you might have ruminated on it for days, letting the anger or hurt consume you. But with emotional detachment, you realize that while you can feel upset, it doesn't have to derail your entire day or week. You recognize that the argument doesn't define your relationship. You choose to focus on what you can control, your own reactions, and choose to either resolve the issue calmly or move on if it's not worth your emotional energy. Instead of attaching your happiness to a person's actions, you detach and allow yourself to stay grounded in peace. The key is recognizing that emotional detachment isn't about being distant or unfeeling. It's about freeing yourself from being constantly reactive to the things that don't align with your inner peace. Rule number 3, reframe your thoughts. Your thoughts have a powerful influence on your emotions and actions. The Stoics believed that if you want to change your emotional state, you must change the way you think. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." By shifting your perspective, you can free yourself from negative thought patterns that create unnecessary emotional attachments. Think of someone who's heartbroken after a breakup and continuously thinks, "I can't live without this person." This thought makes it harder to let go because it's rooted in dependence. But by reframing that thought, perhaps to, "I am capable of finding happiness on my own," they create emotional space for healing. Rather than feeling helpless, they realize that their happiness isn't reliant on someone else. This change in perspective can make the process of emotional detachment smoother. By challenging and reframing negative thoughts, you free yourself from the emotional bonds that make you feel stuck, and instead empower yourself to move forward with a healthier mindset. Rule number 4, Focus on self-improvement. When life throws us challenges, it's easy to dwell on the loss of a relationship or the absence of someone's presence. But what if, instead of focusing on what's gone, we channeled that energy into self-improvement? This shift in focus can be transformative, not just emotionally, but in every area of life. Take Sarah, for example. After the end of a long-term relationship, she found herself feeling lost and unsure of her next steps. Instead of sinking into self-doubt, she decided to reclaim her time and energy. She enrolled in an online graphic design course, a field she'd always been curious about but never had the time to pursue. Week by week, she mastered new skills, from creating logos to designing web layouts. What started as a way to fill the emotional void soon became a passion. Within months, she built a small freelance portfolio and began taking on paid projects. Not only did she gain a valuable career skill, but she also discovered a new sense of independence and self-confidence. This is the power of focusing on self-improvement. By setting personal growth goals, you shift the narrative from "I'm not enough" to "I'm constantly evolving." You could learn a new language, take up public speaking, improve your fitness, or master a technical skill that could open new career doors. Each accomplishment, big or small, builds self-esteem and reminds you that your value isn't tied to anyone else. When you prioritize self-growth, you stop chasing external validation and start creating your own sense of worth. The progress you make becomes your source of fulfillment, and every new skill you master strengthens your independence. So instead of waiting for someone to come back or fill an emotional gap, become the person you're proud of, the kind of person who doesn't just survive, but thrives. Rule number 5, set healthy boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries is a critical part of emotional detachment. It's about knowing where you end and where someone else begins. Healthy boundaries allow you to protect your emotional space and ensure that your relationships are based on mutual respect and understanding. Picture someone who has a friend who constantly calls or texts needing emotional support, but never reciprocating. At first, they might feel obliged to always respond, even if it's draining. But eventually, they set a boundary. I need time for myself, and I can't always be available for every call. Setting this boundary doesn't mean they don't care about their friend, but it allows them to protect their own emotional health. Over time, they feel less drained, more balanced, and able to show up for the people in their life in a way that's healthy for both sides. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. They signal that you value your own time, energy, and well-being. By learning to say no when needed, you can reduce emotional dependence on others, making your relationships healthier and more fulfilling. Rule number 6, embrace the present moment. It's easy to get caught up in past mistakes or future anxieties, but the Stoics remind us to focus on the present moment. As Marcus Aurelius said, confine yourself to the present. The present is all we truly have, and by embracing it fully, we can free ourselves from emotional attachments to things that no longer matter, or things that haven't happened yet. Imagine you're at a family gathering, but instead of being present, you're ruminating over an argument you had last week, or worrying about a work project next month. You miss the joy of the current moment, the laughter, the connection, the simple beauty of being with loved ones. But by practicing mindfulness, focusing on the warmth of the conversation or the deliciousness of the meal, you start to let go of the distractions that pull you out of the present. As you shift your focus, you realize that the present moment is a source of happiness that doesn't require anything from the past or future to feel fulfilling. When you embrace the present, you let go of the emotional baggage from the past and release the anxiety about the future. You start to experience life more fully, free from the chains of regret or worry. Rule number 7, reframe your thoughts. The way we interpret situations has a direct impact on our emotional state. Reframing your thoughts is a powerful tool in emotional detachment, allowing you to break free from negative patterns and create more empowering perspectives. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Take the case of someone who loses their job. Initially, they might think, this is the end of the world, I'll never find another job, I'm a failure. But by reframing this thought, they might shift to, this is an opportunity to explore new paths. I can find a job that suits me even better. This shift in thinking changes the emotional experience entirely. Instead of feeling defeated, they now feel empowered to take action and create a positive outcome. Changing your mindset isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing practice of recognizing negative thoughts and transforming them into thoughts that support your growth and resilience. Reframing helps you detach emotionally from the things that once held you back, allowing you to take control of your emotions. Rule number 8, engage in self-care. Self-care isn't just about pampering yourself. It's about prioritizing activities that nurture your body, mind, and spirit. A healthy mind and a healthy body, as Seneca suggested, is the foundation for emotional independence. Taking time to care for yourself allows you to be more emotionally resilient and less dependent on others for validation. Real-life example. Let's say you're feeling emotionally drained after a stressful period at work. Instead of relying on others to help you feel better, you decide to take care of yourself. You go for a run, meditate for 15 minutes, and spend an afternoon reading your favorite book. These acts of self-care help you reconnect with yourself, recharge, and regain clarity. You're not looking for others to fix how you feel because you've learned how to care for your own emotional well-being. By incorporating self-care practices into your routine, you build emotional strength that doesn't depend on anyone else. You become more resilient, able to face life's challenges with confidence and inner peace. Rule number 9, set healthy boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries isn't just about saying no to others. It's about creating space for your own emotional well-being. Boundaries allow you to define what is acceptable in your relationships and protect your mental space. As you learn to enforce these boundaries, you teach others how to treat you, reinforcing your sense of self-worth and emotional independence. Consider someone who's in a relationship where their partner constantly asks for favors without ever reciprocating. At first, they agree to every request, feeling obligated to please their partner. But over time, they feel drained and resentful. Recognizing this, they decide to set a boundary. I love you, but I also need time for myself, and I can't always say yes. Setting this boundary allows them to maintain a healthy balance in the relationship, giving them space to recharge without feeling guilty. By consistently setting healthy boundaries, you protect your emotional health and avoid becoming overly attached to the needs or expectations of others. It's a vital step toward creating more balanced and fulfilling relationships. Rule 10. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most effective tools to shift your mindset and detach from unhealthy attachments. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you create a sense of abundance and appreciation that makes emotional detachment easier. As the philosopher Epicurus said, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not." Real-life example. Imagine someone going through a difficult breakup. Initially, they might feel lost and fixate on the person they no longer have in their life. But when they start practicing gratitude, they shift their focus to the things they still have: supportive friends, a job they enjoy, a peaceful home. Each day, they write down 3 things they're grateful for. Over time, they begin to realize that they have so much to appreciate in their life, which softens the emotional pain of the breakup and makes it easier to let go. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already abundant in your life. By practicing this daily, you build emotional resilience and create space for new, healthy attachments. Emotional detachment isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about reclaiming your inner power, building unshakable peace, and living with true freedom. By following these 10 rules, you're not just letting go of what's holding you back, you're stepping into a stronger, wiser, and more self-assured version of yourself. If you found these insights valuable, don't keep them to yourself. Subscribe to the channel and join a growing community of people committed to personal growth, self-mastery, and emotional freedom. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to level up your life. Your journey toward inner peace and true strength is just beginning. Let's walk this path together. Subscribe now and take the first step toward a more empowered you.